Hey, Peter, just thought I'd check on you. Oh, my God!
Government came and took my baby!
You can't be me son. Happy late St. Patrick's Day. I'm Irish, therefore I get away with this terrible accent. Wait, we already did this. We established this crap with the last video. I am so sorry. This is not a repeat of Craig. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about Family Guy. Or more specifically, PETA and his father, Mickey Flanagan. Mickey McFinnigan. Mickey, okay, it's here.
Mickey McFinnigan.
Why is this reminding me of It's Always Sunny? Speaking of, have you ever been to Boston around St. Patty's Day? I went there last year on St. Patty's Day, and it was hell. There were people puking in the street. There was this one girl in like a fetal position on the ground. Every bar and tavern had at least an hour wait, and I had to go to Wahlburgers, the one by Fenway, because it was the only place that wasn't crowded. And I've never been to Boston in the fall. But I wonder, is St. Patrick's Day in real-life Rhode Island any better? After all, many people forget that not only is Peter Griffin Irish, but he's Irish Catholic, as is his stepfather, Francis. Kitty, don't you mean father as in blood? Catherine, are you drinking again? I meant stepfather. Because as shown in Peter's Two Dads, we kinda got a Lenore and Rhaenyra situation going on. Francis is really his stepfather. So, let's discuss. In Family Guy, Peter was raised by a man named Francis Griffin. Francis, while he loved Peter's mother, Thelma, more than anything, was a tough taskmaster to his son. On top of that, he was also a fervent Catholic. Now, I have no problem if that's his religious preference, but none of the family members like him for it because he uses it as a tool to force his views onto them, like thinking that Peter taking a really huge crap is the same as him spanking it, and then he shames him for it.
But I do it every day. Sometimes twice.
Mark my words, lad.
God's watching me do number 2? Oh man, I'm a sinner and God's a pervert.
As a Catholic, Francis believes in the value of hard work, which sucks for him when his job forces him into retirement.
But in my eyes, you're a bunch of sinners and slackers who have forced a hard-working old man to retire. So you can take this shiny watch and shove it!
He goes to stay with Peter, and after getting hired by the toy company, makes his life a living hell. Punish irony intended. For not only him, but the rest of the family. Eventually, Peter learns that the Pope is coming to Quahog, and semi-kidnaps him to come and remedy things with him and his father, who calls the Pope soft.
Even a tambourine-shaking Baptist could tell this boy's no good.
Are you calling me a liar? Ugh, I've never met such an infuriating man. You must have the patience of a saint.
Wow, he's got the balls of, I guess Samson? I don't really know. Regardless, banish him to the island of perpetual tickling. However, the Pope is able to work out a religious compromise that Peter and Francis can agree with. While the Bible says that you have to honor your father, it never said anything about liking them.
Dad, I'm gonna eat meat on Fridays, golf on Sundays, laugh at Jewish comedians, and yes, sleep with my Protestant wife. I won't enjoy it.
So the pair come to an understanding. Peter stands up to his father and keeps his lifestyle, and the Pope, because part of his job is forgiveness, allows Francis to be a bodyguard on his American tour.
You give Dad a job? Even though what a jerk he is?
I have to. As you said, Peter, I'm the freaking Pope.
While we do see Francis one or two other times, he eventually comes back in the episode Peter's Two Dads, where he dies. So, let's discuss. The Griffins are watching television when Meg comes inside. She wants to throw a big party at the house in a few days with all of her friends and a bunch of cool stuff. Maybe even a band, and Peter and Lois, oddly enough, agree to the request, at least until she leaves the room.
What's she talking about? A party for what?
I don't know. She have a period or something? She getting married?
No, if she was getting married, we probably would have seen a guy around, right?
Peter, we don't have parties when we have periods. We're too doubled over in pain, either on a toilet, in a bathtub, or on the couch. If we survive our periods, then we have a party. Chris informs them that it's Meg's birthday, but he doesn't tell them how old she's turning, probably thinking that as her parents they would remember a silly little detail like how old their oldest child is. How could they forget?
Oh, don't worry about it, Timmy. My dreams were shattered years ago.
How many years ago?
How old are you?
Seriously, how do y'all forget how old she is? That was the day your joy turned to ashes in your mouth. Elsewhere, Stewie is planning Meg's birthday party.
You've got a telephone call? Who is it? He didn't say. Well, find out, would you? Who is this?
It's Brian.
It's Brian. Oh, Brian, probably RSVPing about Megan's party. Hello, Brian.
Okay, this might be controversial, but this scene, while funny, really should have been cut. One of my biggest complaints about this episode is that we barely see Peter's real father, despite the episode literally being called Peter's Two Dads. At least with Patrick, we saw him for a good chunk of the episode, especially after the mystery element was posed. And then it was a slow burn until we got the murderer plot, because obviously the title wouldn't alert us to the big twist. Here the pacing goes by too slow until we meet Peter's real father, and then it's almost like a quick afterthought. I would say do the same for Stewie's subplot, but to be fair, it's too memorable to cut. And you'll see why in a second. Peter and Lois are getting ready for the party when they realize, holy crap, not only did they forget about the anniversary of the day their daughter was born, but they forgot how old she is.
You're asking me?
Yeah, how old is Meg?
I don't know.
Well, my God, Lois, I thought you were the one keeping track of that.
No, I have no idea.
Rather than asking one of the kids or looking at her birth certificate or Wikipedia, he instead decide to ask her in specific while trying to dance around the question.
Meg, I got 16 candles for your birthday cake. How does that sound?
That's not right.
So, less?
Only Meg isn't stupid like them, and she quickly catches on.
You stupid son of a... You don't even know how old I am!
Meg, that kind of language is not appropriate for a girl your age. Or is it?
If you want to know, for reference, Meg is turning 17. So yes, she can indeed call her father names. I mean, he farts in her face. That seems pretty fair if you ask me. Soon after, Peter throws Meg a party, and true to her request, he allows all of her friends to come over. Wow, and I thought Meg only had like 4 friends, including her grandfather.
Here, this is for Megan.
Oh, what is it?
It's a cookie from lunch period at the home.
Well, I'm sure she'll love this.
I want to see her eat it.
Admittedly, if my grandpa gave me a giant cookie as a present, I would be so happy. No crack voices, kitty. Zip it. But wait, Frances is her friend? I mean, I remember holy crap.
Grandpa, we were just holding hands.
Well, it'll be easy for him to take your hand when God strikes your sinful heart with leprosy. He can take it right home with him. Lord, it's great to see you kids.
Wait, where's Carter and Babs and Velma in that case? OMG, imagine a grandparents episode. It sucks they can never do it though. Of course, the party sucks. The only entertainment is Quagmire, looking for a meal. Stewie, who opened all of her presents because he's going through the mind phase, which will lead to the subplot down the line.
What else we got here? The first season of Sister Sister on DVD?
You're welcome.
And stuff that would be more appropriate for a 5-year-old's party. Like, did he just go to the clearance bin at Party City and grab a handful of crap or something? Most notably, he got her a clown.
A clown? Dad, I'm 17!
And as he's cheap, the clown is really him. Not the fun Ben Stein clown from Jimmy Neutron.
Hey kids, I'm Pee-Pants, the inebriated hobo clown. I'm an adorable tramp who wears found clothing and eats out of your garbage can.
You know, considering the episode Chitty Chitty Death Bang, you would think Peter would be better at planning birthday parties based around major coincidences. Maybe he lost that luck this time around. His tricks don't seem to win any awards. Not only does Meg dislike them, but Frances too.
It is a party.
Take off that stupid costume. You look like a damn fool.
Dad, you won't say that when you see my grand unicycle finale.
Part of me feels like if Francis just kept his darn mouth shut this one time, he would have lived. Because this encourages Peter to do a trick with his unicycle, while drunk as a skunk after he gets his food stamps on the 1st of the month, and crush his father like a bagel.
Alright, this is gonna blow you guys away.
Grandpa! Oh my God! Is he breathing?
Somebody call an ambulance!
Ouch. They rush Francis to Dr. Hartman, who tells them that Francis is gonna die from internal bleeding. Peter apologizes for...
Dad, I'm so sorry I broke all your ribs and busted your spleen and punctured your lung.
all that, and Francis has something to say before he meets his maker.
I'm here, Dad. What is it?
Peter, you're a fat, stinking drunk.
Wow, 2 videos about Peter being fat. How the heck did that happen? I just picked them around the theme of St. Paddy's Day. I didn't even intend for this. That's hilarious. But I do like the detail of Francis having a cross in the background. That's good. As burying Francis in a pet cemetery is not an option.
Okay, I'll bury him in a regular cemetery.
At least he tried. Peter has to admit that he killed his daddy, and that his daddy found him to be nothing but a fat, stinking drunk.
You know what the worst part is? All I wanted was for my dad to tell me he loved me. But instead he called me a fat, stinking drunk. Those were his last words.
Yeah, Peter, you're totally not like that. Lois and Brian are grieving pretty hard as well. Oh my god, Becky, look at how choked up they are. Peter is still torn up about his father's death and his parting words. Peter decides that as booze killed his father, not him himself, or his girth, or his idiocy, or the fact he didn't listen to his daughter, or really any reason. Therefore, as penance, he shall give up booze entirely, in favor of...
Peter, what are you doing? Crack?
What the f... Hey, at least I'm not drinking, Brian.
First off, favorite joke in the whole episode, I just love how Brian said it. I remember laughing for a good day and a half when I first saw that joke. Second, how the f did he get crack? Was it from Stan?
From Black's? Yeah, right behind Black's hardware store. There's a white guy selling it.
Oh, okay then. Rather than telling him to trade one addiction for another, Brian tells him that he needs to find out why he feels the need to drink in the first place. And because he likely watched the episodes Friends of Peter G, Brian you suck then, and Bloody Mary from South Park, Brian suggests he go to a hypnotist. Is it the one Francine went to? Peter, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but you might have to order him a sandwich. Don't be greedy. Elsewhere, Stewie is continuing his foray into the mind phase, and he makes Stingy from Lazytown look downright charitable. Maybe it explains why he wants to take over the world. It was mine.
This is mine, and this is mine, and that's mine, and this is mine.
Seagull solo. This time he tears up his parents' room looking for stuff to claim, and Lois, who has had it up to here, does the unthinkable, lays hands on her son. Not simple words that'll tear into him for life, but spankings.
If I can't have it, nobody can!
That is enough!
You struck me!
Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Mommy would never hurt you.
Now, you all know my opinions on spankings. I'm against them as a punishment, and this episode seems to try and want to disprove my earlier viewpoints. To be fair, something I do appreciate about Lois here is that she admits she lost her temper. It was bad, and she didn't mean to, but it still happened. Later on, she does own up to it multiple times, especially after Stewie calms down.
Oh my god. Stewie, honey, I am so sorry. Stewie, there you are. Mommy is so sorry she hit you. I promise I will never lay a hand on you again.
And she tries to keep her patience when Stewie continues to make messes.
No, don't you think you should spank me or slice my nostril?
It's all right, Stewie. Now go play.
Oh, all right.
Whereas if this were the later episodes, she would probably spank him even harder, or just plain old ignore him. It's good to know she remembers stuff is awful, but unfortunately, the damage is done. At first, Stewie is scared.
I'm sorry I misbehaved, Mother! I'm sorry I misbehaved! I love you, Mommy dearest!
No wire hangers. But soon afterwards, Stewie now thinks that he's one of those people who, as he claims...
My God, I haven't felt that alive in years. Rupert, you know, I think perhaps I may be one of those people who gets a jolly out of being hit.
So he keeps trying to recreate the circumstances that got Lois to spank him, despite her earlier apologies. The problem is, Lois won't cause a stink, as she's trying to be nicer, and it irritates Stewie to no end. Until he finally realizes how creepy he's been acting.
Come on, discipline me! Make me wear panties, rub dirt in my eye, violate me with a wine bottle. My God, I really do have problems, don't I?
To be fair, the subplot is hilarious, and it was one of the first Family Guy plots I ever watched. Plus, it's quite memorable, and it crosses the line twice in a really good way. Take that, Bob's Burgers. But I feel like it either should have been cut, or at least moved to another episode.
Boo!
Shut up, Susan. But I'll explain later. Elsewhere, Peter goes to the hypnotist. Oh, it's Bruce. And Bruce discovers that Peter drinks because Francis Griffin isn't his real father?
Happy Father's Day, Dad!
I'm not your father.
Oh my God! Francis Griffin wasn't my real father!
Oof, I'm afraid Bruce can't help you, Peter. Only Freud, or Witch Lisa from Looney Tunes. And I thought I was messed up. Peter goes to his mother to inquire if Francis really wasn't his real daddy. And rather than something foot around, Velma tells him that Francis is not his real father, and that Peter's real daddy is an Irish dude named Mickey McFinnigan. There it is.
About 40 years ago, I was vacationing in Ireland, and I met a young rogue named Mickey McFinnigan. Peter, Mickey is your real father.
You know, I think Peter McFinnigan is a better name than Peter Griffin. Just saying, it rolls off the tongue better. But on the bright side, at least Peter's still Irish, just like Francis wanted. So that's good. He might not have married an Irish Catholic girl, though, so 6 of 1. But he's still Irish. Peter decides to travel to Ireland to meet his baby daddy, with Brian coming along for moral support. And the family wishes him good luck.
Come back soon, Daddy. I love you.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Shut up, Peter. You ruined her birthday party, you forgot how old she was, you embarrassed her, and you killed her grandfather right in front of her. What do you and a Phillips head have in common? You're both screwed. That joke was terrible, and I should feel terrible. In Ireland, Peter discovers that the nation is renowned for one of his favorite pastimes, drinking like a fish.
You know, Ireland has more drunks per capita than people.
It kind of reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob where he tries to recreate Walden's Pond with the jellyfish, but finds out he's a starving artist with rich parents. They land in McSwiggan Village. Super subtle, guys. And Peter discovers that Mickey is the town drunk, aka a local hero.
Town drunk? Oh my God, you mean he's the disgrace of the whole town?
Around here, the town drunk is a person of great honor.
Wow, no wonder Velma slept with him. Beer goggles are a thing. Peter goes to talk to Mickey, and yep, that's his father. You can't convince me otherwise. That is definitely his baby daddy.
I don't know exactly where the county Cork is, but I know where it should be!
Mickey turns out to not only be a drunk, but a deadbeat, as he refuses to get to know Peter and refuses to acknowledge him as his son. Maybe he's too drunk to see the resemblance.
You're my father. Who am I now? Yeah, I came all the way from America to find you. I suppose it's money you're wanting. I owe you some allowance and so forth.
Okay, I think I know the biggest problem with this episode. Rather than the episode embracing the fact Peter's drinking even if it killed Francis, there's the pacing.
You can't be me son. You and me are nothing alike. Just ask me sheep, O'Brien. Whose leg do you have to hump to get a pint of Guinness around here?
This is a cool joke, but think about it. What if all of the Griffins went with Peter and Brian to Ireland? Or what if they just go to Ireland on a whim, for whatever reason? I mean, when It's Always Sunny introduced Charlie's real dad, the entire gang went with him to Ireland, and each got their own adventures in connection with the reveal. How could it play out here? Let's say Peter won a free vacation, or he wanted to make it up to Meg for giving her a crappy birthday party, so he decides to take her on a trip, but Ireland is the cheapest place for them. And Peter meets a guy named Mickey, and he starts to think, OMG, is this my real father? They have a lot in common, they kind of look familiar, so he calls up Velma, and Velma reveals the truth. Mickey is really his father, and maybe Francis knew the whole time, or he didn't, who knows. Just saying, it sucks how Mickey is barely in the episode, even if it's called Peter's Two Dads. And as we saw with O'Brien the sheep, what if Mickey has his own family of the Griffins, but Irish? Perhaps the Griffins if they were constantly drunk. Come on, Stewie has a British accent. Imagine all of the jokes they could make. The terrible, awful, screwed up jokes. But they would definitely be funny. And maybe that's part of why he doesn't want to acknowledge Peter. He already has his own family to worry about. Peter doesn't know how to make Mickey realize that he's his father. Are DNA tests not an option? I wouldn't be surprised if Mickey's blood is 100% replaced with alcohol. Same with his saliva and his hair. But Francis and a group of Jedi-style ghosts tell Peter to put his stinking drunk skills to work and challenge him to a drinking contest. Ooh, like B!
You're a fat, stinking drunk.
Yes, from what he's told us, that's right on the money.
Challenge him, you must.
And I'm Hayden Christensen.
Is that really Hayden Christensen? Rats. It's actually Chris Cox. I was surprised. Peter challenges Mickey, while O'Brien and Brian bet on the winner.
I got 20 on the fat one. Which one's the fat one?
And Peter wins. Plus, like his father, they both speak drunk.
Now do you believe that you're my dad? Nobody but a McFinnigan could handle that much of the creature. You're the broth of me own stubby shillelagh, all right?
Mickey now acknowledges Peter as his son, and Peter accepts Mickey as his new daddy, to crying Francis.
Francis may not have been your father, but he raised you as if you were his own. And if that isn't love, I don't know what is.
Wow, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I don't buy it. Francis treated the family like crap, he treated Peter like crap, he forcibly baptized Stewie to the point where it actually made him sick, even if all Peter wanted throughout his life was to make him happy.
I love you with all me heart.
You do?
Of course. I just don't like you. I don't like anything about you.
If anything, he saw Peter as a burden, and this was him knowing that wasn't really his real son. Remember, Peter only went along with his BS because that was his father.
He's my dad. I just want him to love me.
Ugh. Peter believes in the toxic Italian value of family, and he's Irish. The episode ends with a huge song and dance number that got nominated for an Emmy, but it lost to that one song from SNL. I can't actually sing it. YouTube is weird. So, do I have any complaints about the episode? A few. I already gave my complaint about the pacing or the weird message with the drinking, but the major is this is the only real time we ever see Mickey. And honestly, we don't even see that much of him because he doesn't get there until like Act 3. Like, keep in mind how long it took us to get to Ireland versus how long it took us to get to Patrick. Apparently the reason they killed off Francis wasn't because of something with his actor, as his actor was still alive then. Rather, it was because the writers found him too dull to write for, which I understand. There's only so many jokes you can make with him, outside of just saying he's a Catholic and he doesn't like non-Catholics. But I feel like there's a lot of untapped potential with Mickey beyond being a drunk. Granted, unlike Patrick, they do mention Mickey in a few episodes. Off the top of my head, Quagmire's dad.
Quagmire, don't you see it?
See what? I'll tell you what I'm seeing. You're jealous.
Huh?
Yeah, your father's a drunk and mine's a hero.
Which makes it weirder they don't include him. They clearly remember him. He isn't a guest voice, that's Seth MacFarlane. They could have him on anytime they wanted. And if Seth doesn't want to do it, like maybe the voice hurts his throat or something, I think they could get somebody, even if it's just for one episode, like they did with Patrick. Besides, there's plenty of opportunities and possibilities. What if Peter finds out his father's competing in a beer contest? What if Peter finds out his dad came to town and didn't even bother to visit? What if Peter's mother and his real father get back together? What if after his mom dies, Peter realizes he's basically basically an orphan, so he tries to have a real relationship with his father. What if Mickey sends them a rare breed of alcohol? What if his father becomes the head of Pawtucket? What if anything? Just saying, it's weird they never bring him back. Anyhow, happy St. Patty's Day. Well, late St. Patty's Day. Hope you had a great time. Bye.
I wonder what else I've repressed. Oh my God! I could have had a V8.